Let me now turn to the application. What we have covered so far in terms of concept is how do you generate box 3 breakthrough ideas. Now, I want to construct a set of methodologies by which you can generate box 3 ideas for your own organization. So this application exercise is going to be broadly divided into two parts. The first part is about generating box 3 ideas. In this part, I want you to use this as a brainstorming process. Brainstorming essentially means no idea is a bad idea. You should write as many box 3 ideas that you can come up with. Don't be judgmental at this stage. Divergent thinking is what we need. Then a second part of this application exercise is to select 3 top box 3 ideas. So the first part is to generate as many ideas as you can. Second part is to narrow down the idea to your top 3. Now let's go to the first part. In terms of generating ideas, I want you to articulate 2 things. First, I want you to imagine the future of your industry. Remember the way we did that for Hasbro. Imagine the future of your industry and ask yourself the following question. What would be the customer discontinuities in your industry? Who will be your customers of the future? And what would be their priorities? Will there be non-consumers who could become consumers in the future, thereby demand box 3 innovation? Second, technologies. Will there be new disruptive technologies that could emerge in your industry, thereby opening up all kinds of opportunities? Third, non-traditional competitors. Will there be competitors of the future who are fundamentally different than your competitors of the present? And on what basis will they be competing with you in the future? Fourth, go-to-market strategy. Will there be non-linear changes in distribution channels, which will again demand box 3 innovation? How about regulation? Will there be discontinuous changes in regulatory processes, which can again open up new opportunities? Again, remember, we are not asking you to predict the future. What we are asking you to do is to imagine the future. And imagination of the future is based on weak signals. Think about all the weak signals you're observing around you and construct a picture of your industry in the future where you see non-consumers, non-traditional competitors, disruptive technologies, radical new distribution channels, and fundamental changes in regulation. Let me take the example of healthcare industry just to highlight what I mean by these non-linear shifts. Take, for instance, non-consumers. In the healthcare industry, there is a whole lot of non-consumers of healthcare today. In fact, today, the healthcare industry caters to only about 15% of the world's population. 85% of the world's population, non-consumers. Bulk of them reside in emerging markets. So, if you are part of the healthcare industry, you got to ask yourself, is there a future opportunity gap if these non-consumers can be converted into consumers? Take the second category, disruptive technologies. In the healthcare industry, genetic engineering can open up all kinds of new opportunities if you're a pharma company. Then take a look at non-traditional competitors. You could have a Silicon Valley tech company like Google could suddenly enter healthcare space because they have access to virtual technology and they can bring health to your home. And how are you going to respond to such non-traditional players? Go-to-market strategy. Mobile technologies could fundamentally redefine channels to the end consumer. Regulation. Certainly, there are plenty of regulatory changes that could happen all over the world. Take, for instance, the intellectual property protection, the patent protection in emerging markets. This is an area, perhaps there could be non-linear shifts. So if you're in the healthcare industry, these are kinds of examples of non-linear changes you could visualize. I already pointed out Hasbro and the family entertainment industry, what kinds of non-linear changes that are possible. That's what I mean by when you're generating box 3 ideas, the first step is to simply imagine your industry. And again, in this process, be as divergent as possible. Put down all your hypotheses. At this stage, don't eliminate any hypothesis. As long as your hypothesis is based on weak signals, write it down. Then once you have got an inventory of nonlinear shifts, then the second step in generating box 3 ideas is to brainstorm and come up with as many box 3 ideas as you can. Typically, a box 3 idea lies at the intersection of 2 or more nonlinear shifts. So once you've got a list of nonlinear shifts, then you ask yourself, if 2 or more of these nonlinear shifts were to happen, is there a box 3 opportunity? Again, if we go back to the $500 ECG machine of General Electric, 2 nonlinear shifts. One is the poor consumers in India. That means affordability has got to be very low. Second, mobile technologies. Third, battery technology. So if you combine some of these nonlinear shifts, suddenly a new possibility opens up about a value product like a low-cost, ultra-low-cost ECG. Again, remember, a box 3 innovation is a business model innovation. NH Hospital, $3,000 open heart surgery is a box 3 innovation. $500 ECG machine is a box 3 innovation. $25 micro loan is a box 3 innovation. Every one of those box 3 innovations happen because of the intersection of multiple nonlinear shifts. So this part of the application exercise, I want you to brainstorm and come up with as many box 3 ideas as you can. Again, remember divergent thinking, brainstorming, write down as many box 3 ideas as you can. And that should be somehow related to the list of nonlinear shifts that you came up with. That will conclude this part of the application, which is about generating box 3 ideas. I will discuss what the next step is in the next video.